What's up, guys? Welcome back to PitchPassPod. Week 10 is now in the books. This is Brett.
Hey, it's me, Brando. Man, what a week it was in the
Yeah, for real.
NFL.
The first
I
game in Germany.
First game in Germany, which
Yeah.
all big success, sold out the
Yes.
stadium. Um, Tom Brady made a joke about how well he's played in international games that he's gonna try to CFL next.
Yeah. Once he retires from the NFL. I mean, fuck it. He
Yeah.
doesn't have a wife that's gonna bitch at him now. So.
I mean, he has to make it back all their money from FTX, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, real.
I wonder how much money they really did lose from that.
Probably around 500 million. I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
Yeah, you would hope Tom wouldn't put all of his eggs in one basket,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I mean, a
Um,
lot of it. The thing that they didn't talk about was a lot of it was probably sponsored money that they gave him to invest in the first place to be a
Probably.
spokesperson. But
I mean, yeah, probably a good. They probably gave him a good portion of the spokesman money in crypto,
yeah,
which, man, I don't think I would have ever done the
no,
crypto instead of normal cash thing,
yeah, same.
just because I don't like the idea of it being paid in something that's that fluid.
Yeah, for real, no joke. Like, if you can make a quick buck on it, if you just want to like invest some very liquid assets that you don't need into it, that's one thing. But like hundreds of millions of dollars in something that's so volatile either way.
To put have
Um,
that much of your portfolio in it
yeah,
is
yeah,
just
for real.
dangerous, man. But
Yeah.
anywho, away from the finance talk, I was banking all day.
I was not. I was, well, I guess I was banking my head on the side of the toilet all day. Um, your boy not feeling so good today, but we are dedicated to our craft, so here we are. Um,
Here we are.
so
Um,
Thursday night game, Falcons Panthers. You definitely
oh,
swayed me into the right direction here.
yeah, I definitely did. Just because I Carolina is honestly a better team.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Carolina is so much better than their record. They have a decent amount, especially defensively, where they have a lot of depth.
Yes.
You know, with the strength of this team is their defensive line, they were going to take away the Falcons' running game.
Yeah.
If you make Marcus Mariota a passer, he's not going to put up a bunch of points on you.
No, no
Even
chance.
with a pretty solid receiving core like he has.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the Panthers did a really, really good job of just kind of managing everything. Marcus Mariota did throw one pick, which, I mean, that's you can throw a pick and still win a lot of games, but they
Mhm.
just really gave up on the running
Should have
game.
run like You should have run like 3 or 4, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
There was a couple of dropped interceptions that were bad.
Mariota had
Marcus Mariota
43
game,
yards and was leading the team in rushing. Like, that should just not happen.
but Marcus was also doing something that just pisses me off when quarterbacks do it. It even pisses me off when Mahomes does it and it works because like it's not sustainable. Fucking rolling out almost to the fucking sideline. You're next to the fucking sideline and throwing the ball back up in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
It does not work on a regular basis.
no.
And even the one time it works, how much is it really moving the needle for you? It's
Enough for them to stay 4-6.
Yeah, it's such a cardinal sin for a quarterback to make, and it just pisses me off whenever I see pros do it. Um, Deontay Foreman was a great story for this game.
Yeah,
130 yards rushing. We saw every bit of the Panthers receiving core also get a little bit of work in this game.
yeah.
We had a couple of first downs from Terrence Marshall. DJ Moore was involved in a couple of catches early on. Not too big of a game statistically, but it's nice to see the Panthers are figuring out they have decent wide receivers.
Yeah, for
They just
real.
got to figure out the role to play them in. Like Laviska Shenault ripped off a 41-yard touchdown in that game.
Yeah. Um, that was in the rushing game too. That was just a nice little.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice little end around.
Yeah.
Um,
Rest in peace, Robbie Anderson, man.
yeah, Robbie Anderson's trash.
Not catching passes wherever he goes.
um,
It's more entertaining than I thought it would have been, but I was honestly just I've already been really disappointed in this Falcons team. Just the misutilization of resources that they do. They really need to start Desmond Ritter. They just need to scrap Marcus.
Their coach already doubled down that Marcus is starting this week.
God,
I agree. I agree with you.
I want to throw up.
I do think that, like, hey, he needs to get involved. Like, Marcus is not working.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this was just like the Panthers showing off a couple of the bright spots that they have, and the Falcons showing us why they're ass. Is really how to sum up this game.
Showing us why they're ass.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the game we referenced at the top, the Germany game between the Seahawks and the Buccaneers. I will say something that has to be really reassuring sign for Bucs fans. Their run defense was back.
Yes.
They held Kenneth Walker to only 17 yards rushing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, Kenneth Walker still got like 55 yards in the pass game.
Yeah.
It was nice to see that the Seahawks are going to start using him more as a receiver.
You're telling me, yeah, for real.
But outside of that, their offense was pretty suffocated for the first half.
Yeah.
They were able to get a couple of scoring drives together near the end of the game, but it was just too little, too late.
Yeah, the Seahawks were completely shut out in the first half. The Bucs kind of found their stride in the second quarter. Yeah, it was, and I think the other thing that should be really reassuring to the Bucs fans is the Seahawks defense has been playing quietly well. And you had Leonard Fournette get injured in the game. I think it was a hip. And Rashad White came in and dropped 105 yards on 22 carries. That's got to be reassuring for you. Chris Godwin leading the team in receptions, but it got pretty spread around. Kata Otton's kind of stepping into that, like flex role, not really acting as like a significant tight end and not really acting as like a huge receiver, but like someone that you can count on if you need some tough yards. Because he's just a big body over the middle, and seeing Brady kind of develop that trust with him was good. Julio had a nice touchdown in this game. I woke up early, subscribed to NFL Plus for this. Seeing Julio find the end zone was nice. Yeah, I think the Bucs have kind of found their like equalization. Their defense definitely did play well. Their offense played well in pretty much every facet except Leonard Fournette. I don't think he played very well.
Well, Leonard Fournette also should not be throwing the football.
Especially not to Tom fucking Brady. Yeah, no.
Okay. I saw that some people were saying this. That had to be like the most mismatch when it comes to like when it comes to athleticism we've ever seen in football.
I was listening to that too. They were talking about how Tariq is like 6'4" and has like a 37 or something. I don't know. It's a huge vertical. And Tom Brady's like combine vertical was in the 20s, and like he's 20 years older now. Like, just don't do that.
Tom tweeted, if he didn't slip, it was gonna be moss to the house.
Yeah, that's cap. There's no other way to say it.
Cap.
You gotta give Gino credit for persevering. I know it was kind of some garbage time, but like. The Seahawks almost came back to win it. Gino's still playing clean, didn't throw any picks. DK had an okay day. Kenneth really got involved in the passing game. Lockett found the end zone, but had a relatively quiet day. The Bucs defense just played really well. I think when you have someone who's as good of a leader as Tom Brady, you can really rally the troops no matter where you're at, home, away, or in a different country. So I think just having that veteran presence in the locker room really, really helped. Whereas the Seahawks are starting a bunch of rookies, and Gino hasn't been, a starting quarterback in a while. So I think it was honestly just an experience difference, and Tampa just finally finding their stride.
Yeah. That's where I really think. I think we're seeing two teams that I think are going in opposite directions for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I think Seattle's going to start to cool down, and Tampa's going to start really hitting their stride, like you said.
Yeah.
Because, hey, they're in the driver's seat for their division right now.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Go and finish. Speaking of finishing, or one team that can and the other one that can't, Minnesota Buffalo,
Yeah.
33-30.
This is
Wild game, maybe the game of the year.
yeah, this is our we don't really know game of the week. This definitely was a game. This is I would say game of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really really fun to watch. Um,
I honestly thought when Buffalo poured on that lead on Minnesota that they wouldn't have a chance coming back from it.
yeah.
And then
Same.
good on Kirk Cousins and this offense of just keeping it chugging, just keeping it going.
Yeah, Kirk with a solid 60% completion, 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, but god damn did Justin Jefferson have a day.
Justin
10
Jefferson, that catch on fourth down,
Yeah.
so clutch.
He
Such a
had
clutch.
10 receptions for 193 yards and a touchdown. They didn't use him in the rushing game at all in this game, but honestly, that's for the best.
Understandable.
Because,
Yeah, against Buffalo's front seven, do you really want your best offensive player taking those many shots?
No.
Especially since we saw on Sunday this team relies on Jefferson to win games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stephon Diggs also had a nice game, 12 catches, 128 yards. But what I wanted to say in this game was Josh Allen's 3 turnovers.
Yes. Yeah.
2 interceptions. He also lost a fumble. Fumble that he lost ended up being what Minnesota needed to tie the game,
Yeah.
which I don't think we're ever going to see a snap like something like that ever again. That
Probably not.
A QB sneak that ended up being a fumbled snap that ended up turning to a touchdown for the other team.
Yeah, it was the end of the game was just a series of
Buffalo just
crazy
let it
events.
go.
And Gabe Davis had one really nice catch, but then he had that big catch where I don't remember if it was in overtime or if it was in I think it was still regulation when Buffalo was driving down, where he was very clearly out of bounds when he made the catch, but they got to the line and they ran the next play, so it wasn't reviewed.
It was end of regulation. It was their last
Yeah.
drive. But no, I agree. It should have been okay, and that's on the people in the box. That's
Yeah.
not in Minnesota. It's the last 2 minutes. They need to bring that in,
Yes.
and they need to have someone take a look at it.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 20-yard play on the left side of the field.
The Bills
Yeah.
not having a run game hurts them a lot.
Yeah, the run game is just Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He rushed for 80 yards, which is great for your quarterback to do, except your quarterback also has, I don't know, fucking injury on his throwing arm.
Yeah, his elbow.
Oh.
Yeah.
His elbow's still not great. Like, you really want him taking more shots than he has to?
No.
But, I mean, that's also what... It's almost like a catch-22 because that's also part of what makes Josh Allen hard to defend and special is the fact that he can also take off and run.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said this earlier on in the season. I'm just going to double down. Josh Allen not being careful with the football will be what ends up costing the Bills in the playoffs.
Agreed. Yeah. It's the reason that. Yeah, I mean, the other
reason
thing
the
that we.
Dolphins won their fucking division.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly the point I was going to bring up. It's possible that both the Jets and the Dolphins finish higher. My pipe dream of the Jets making the playoffs this year is still alive.
It is very much alive. Yeah, Buffalo needs to figure it out. That they're definitely the I don't know this week, 100%.
Well, speaking of the Dolphins.
Yeah, we can just go to the Fins now. They blew the fucking doors off the Browns.
Yeah. Yeah. Tua is really sneaking in. I feel like Tua's kind of replaced Josh Allen as like the third candidate.
The third MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. He's executing at a very high level.
Yeah, he has the highest passer rating in the league this season.
One of my favorite things is the discourse around Tua, where I feel like everyone must give a polarizing position of how good he is.
Yeah.
Why can't he just be good?
Yeah, bro, just let him play. He doesn't need comps. He doesn't need to be whatever. Just
Are the Dolphins winning? Yes. Is their offense putting up points? Yeah. We don't need. Sometimes I feel like we just want to rank the players so badly that it gets in the way
Yes.
of what's going on in the field.
Yeah,
let's be real. You only need a quarterback to be performing at a certain level for your team and your offense to be doing well. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if he's the fucking seventh best quarterback in the league or the third.
Yeah.
If he's executing, that's what matters.
Absolutely, I agree. And the majority of the criticism is just the public denotation of Tua's arm strength. They're like, "Oh, I've
Yeah.
never seen a quarterback underthrow so many big receptions," and it's like, well, the receivers are still fucking catching them, aren't they?
Yeah, but also, isn't like Tua's has the weakest arm we've ever seen in the NFL.
No.
He probably has a stronger arm or as strong an arm as Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
I feel like that's about where, like, I think his floor is around where Jimmy Garoppolo is.
yeah.
I think it's a little bit stronger, but like I don't think it's like not passable for the NFL.
You know what? I'm gonna take this as a second to flip to the other side and talk about the Browns for a second. Another quarterback receiving an unnecessary amount of hate, Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby is a backup, okay?
Yeah, he's a backup quarterback.
Jacoby is not a starting quarterback, and for a team with such a dominant run game, to have 112 yards total, what are you doing, Cleveland?
I mean, Jacoby had some yards. He had like 212
Oh,
yards.
yeah.
Like,
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't
ran the ball more.
exactly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, but they just that and their defense just fell apart. Their
Yeah.
defense really did, and their defense has been falling apart all year. And the only person that can produce on their defense is Myles Garrett.
Only one. Absolutely. Yeah.
Granted, best edge player in the NFL. So, yeah, tomato. Like their defense still isn't gonna play well. That's their Achilles heel.
Yeah, it's like having a Lamborghini parked outside of a hut. It's like, all right, man.
That's
Like,
Myles Garrett.
yeah.
That's the Browns defense.
Yeah.
The Browns defense also has decent pieces, just doesn't play well as a whole.
No. Yeah,
So
it's
maybe
kind of the
it's-
Commanders effect.
Yeah. Also, we all should have just known that this year for Cleveland was just gonna be a punt for them anyway.
Yeah.
Deshaun being suspended 12 games. They already sold their draft picks for this year. They just wanted to see what else they had on the roster.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait to watch how the Browns magically get matched up against Mahomes and, well, I mean, next year, all of the
Next
games
year.
that they're going to have where they
Oh, yeah.
tour Deshaun. Yeah.
Ooh, do you guys play the Browns next year?
I probably.
If you guys play their division next year, maybe. I'm not sure. But, yeah,
The Dolphins just stomped the Browns.
pretty much. Jeff Wilson has also been a stud for them ever since they
Yes.
traded for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's go to Detroit, Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago,
speaking of stud, Justin Fields.
Justin Fields balled out,
Yeah.
and Chicago, I love the result for them because their offense has been showing up the past couple weeks, but they're also tanking.
Yeah, and this was kind of this is an interesting game because
The Bears seem
The
like they
Bears-
dominated the whole game.
yeah, the Bears started off really slow offensively in the season, but like the past few weeks they've been humming, and the Bears scored almost all of their points in the first three quarters. They scored 6 points in the fourth quarter. The Lions, meanwhile, scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to come back. Like, they had 10 points. Both teams had 10 points at the half, right? But then the Bears went 14 to nothing for the Lions in the third quarter, and then the Lions just took them to church in the fourth quarter.
And count out Jared Goff, man. Also, Amon-Ra St. Brown had a good game.
Yes, he
10
did.
catches, 119 yards.
Yeah, very happy to see that.
Which something that I like about Amon-Ra's game. He's not really he's not gonna beat you down the field. He's not much of a deep
No.
threat. He's a really good possession receiver.
Yes.
Knows where he needs to be in the zone. Can get open, and he's tough and physical when he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and when Jamison Williams comes back, I still think he's going to see a large share of targets regardless because he is just a really good outside option. Yeah.
And also DJ Shark is coming back. He's coming back off IR now too.
I honestly forgot he was even there with all due
I
respect.
know. Well, I mean, he hasn't played this year. He's been hurt.
Yeah.
So the receiving core next year and for the end of the season is actually kind of nasty.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and DJ Shark.
Justin Fields crying in Bears offense. Yeah. It was nice
He
that they got him.
he'll control this offense pretty damn far. And Cole Kmet
Yeah.
is at least, and he's a solid tight end.
I think
But
he's
not
gotten 5 touchdowns in the past 3 weeks or something like that. Yeah.
compared to nothing to begin the year.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this was also the coaching staff in Chicago
Hmm.
figuring out what they have on the fly.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how their offense looks to start the year next year.
Yeah.
Are they gonna keep using more like Justin Fields' legs more like they have been the second half of the year?
Probably. I would
would
guess.
hope.
Yeah.
I would honestly hope so because you know why? Justin Fields over these past couple weeks has also been smarter with how he's been rushing. He's been
Yes.
getting down, not taking as many big hits, getting out of bounds.
Isn't Khalil Herbert's on IR now too? Right. I think.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert is probably done for the year, TBH.
Yeah. Lots of things to consider here. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, the Lions. You know, I also want to give credit to Aiden Hutchinson because he's definitely been improving. I know you've definitely been critical of him, and I'm not saying he didn't deserve
have
it for
been.
the first half of the season. Well, first third, but
May I also say I've been critical of this entire edge class.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
the edge class has been extremely disappointing.
yeah, he's been stepping up though. I think he had 8 tackles in this game. Fair pressure in this game. It's not an amazing stat line, but it's definitely an improvement, and we've been seeing some consistency out of him. So,
Agree to disagree. I still think he's getting some of these opportunities because he's just the best pass rusher that Lions have,
yeah,
which isn't saying much.
yeah,
I think he is going to be a good player. I just don't think he's going to live up to being the number 2 overall pick.
I
You are
will probably
edge
agree with that.
rusher. If you're picking an edge player that high in the draft, you're expecting Myles Garrett. You're
Yeah.
expecting otherworldly production from this dude.
Yeah, I don't really know what Detroit would have done this year, to be honest with you. I don't really know where they would have gone, but
If
even
he went other than Aiden,
yeah,
it would have been probably for tackle. Well, even then, they already have tackles.
Yeah.
They probably corner.
Yeah,
Corner.
probably.
Sauce Gardner.
well, yeah, I guess they could have.
Yeah, Jeffrey Okuda too. I think in one of our mock drafts, I had that happening.
Maybe. I don't. That was a long time ago. I don't remember at this point. But you're probably right.
But that's where I'm at with it. I think Aiden Hutchinson is a fine defensive lineman.
Yeah,
Just
not a game
too rich,
changer.
too rich for my blood where they drafted him. That's all I'm
fair.
saying.
That's fair.
But that's also this entire edge class. He's still better than Trayvon Walker's been. I'll say that right
Yeah.
now. I think George Karlaftis has probably been the best edge from
Yes,
this class so
I
far.
definitely agree. Yeah,
If-
and we can talk about that.
Maybe.
because-
Well, I do think there are some other edge players that maybe aren't getting as much talk as they should.
Mhm.
Cameron Thomas over in Arizona.
Mhm.
He's one of the top guys when it comes to pressure, and he's only played 75 pass rush snaps.
Yeah.
So it's a limited sample size as well. Same with Nick Benito. I think he's been absolutely fantastic in his small sample size.
Yeah.
I think
You liked him out of the draft too. I remember that.
I did like Benito out of the
Yeah.
draft. I would have taken him probably in the second round still,
Yeah.
just because size is lacking.
Mhm.
Which I'm very curious to see if we're going to keep seeing 240-pound edge rushers get drafted,
Mhm.
because teams are getting blown off the ball right now.
Yeah.
Game. I'm wondering when we're going to start seeing the 270, 280-pound defensive ends again.
Well, since we're talking about big guys, do you want to go to the Broncos Titans game?
Yeah, we can go to Broncos Titans game. Broncos country, let's kill ourselves.
Russ
actually,
is.
dude,
Yeah.
if you
please.
are having any issues, please reach out to someone.
Please consult a mental health care professional or a hotline if you are in immediate duress.
Yes. You know what's the fucked up thing about the suicide hotline, though?
Huh.
They'll call the police on you.
They call the police?
They'll call the police on you sometimes.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, there's other ways you can go to, other places you can go to, but I mean, I get it. If they think you're about to commit suicide, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah. If you don't know me, I'm training to be a mental health care professional. So, definitely something we take very seriously. But, yeah, in terms of the game, Russell Wilson with a 50% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The touchdown reception was by Jalen Virgil. Okay, have you ever heard that name before? I haven't. As for the Titans, Ryan Tannehill actually.
Been on their team for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
Man, I don't know.
I also don't recognize his name off the top. No, he's actually a wide receiver. This is not what I thought it was.
Yeah, exactly.
It's rare that you also get a player I'm not super
you don't
familiar
know.
with.
Yeah. The Titans had an interesting game, in my opinion. Nick Westbrook, again, name I've never heard before personally. 5 receptions, 119 yards. Like, that's crazy. 24-yard average and 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
It's so funny how bad the receiving core is.
Yeah. Well, other than Traylon Burks, but he just hasn't really been that involved.
Traylon Burks hasn't played at all.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Traylon Burks for me, I am so afraid of him as a route runner.
Yeah.
Not like a DB having to like guard him, but knowing that he probably can't shake a DB.
Yeah.
So that kind of throws me off because he's not long enough to be that good of a contestant.
He's only 6'2". He's not like Mike Evans or not one of those.
Or like London or
Josh, not Josh Palmer. Is it Josh Palmer or the Mike Williams?
Yes, Joshua Palmer and Mike Williams over in the LA Chargers.
Yeah. Not a lot really to talk about positively in any light from either team. The Titans managed to fuck up less. Ryan Tannehill had a good day, quietly. 2 touchdowns, no picks. Russ just sucks. Not a lot to talk about in this game.
Yeah. So we can just keep on going then.
Do you want to go to the Chargers?
Yeah. Let's finish up some of the early slate before we get to prime time. Let's go. Jags Chiefs.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned it. Oops. I actually clicked on the video. Do not want to get copy striked. So the Chiefs were definitely the more dominant team earlier on in this game. I will say the player that had that hit on Juju, I don't remember the name of the Jaguars player who had that hit on Juju, but they need to be fined and suspended for a decent amount of time because that was very clearly a very dirty hit. The Chiefs played really, really well. Pacheco led the rushing game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire just non-existent.
I mean, Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Rushing. Kadarius Toney had his coming out game.
He really did. 4 receptions for 57 yards and a touchdown. He had
yards at it in.
Yeah. He had 93 yards on the day and a touchdown. MVS had a good day. Juju obviously taken out too early from this game. That sucks. Sky not very involved.
The Jaguars were really trying to put on a comeback in this game. They just came out too slow.
And they couldn't get a run established was the other thing.
The running game couldn't get established at any point. You're 100% right.
Karlaftis did a really, really good job coming from the outside. He batted down a couple passes. He got some big pressure. Christian Kirk had a day for sure. 9 receptions for 105 yards and 2 fucking touchdowns, man. He had a really, really good day.
It also makes you just wonder, man, how good could this Jags offense be if they just had one more legit wide receiver?
For real.
Because, Zay Jones is an okay third option. You probably want a better player than Evan Ingram.
Yeah. Evan Ingram just doesn't look the same. He definitely can still give you some production, but he looks injured to me.
I mean, also, I don't think Evan Ingram was ever able to fully recover from some of his injuries
No.
in New York. What really separated him as a tight end was the fact that he was running the 4.4s.
Yeah, he was very athletic.
Yeah, and if you take that away, then he doesn't really have too much of a game to rely on outside of that.
No.
Outside of, he's okay at like finding space in between zones,
Yeah.
which is still important to do. But outside of that, he's good for only like 3 catches and 24 to 48 yards a game.
Yeah, Andre Cisco was the player that I was thinking of that got that nasty hit on Juju.
Cisco definitely has a reputation, not for being necessarily a dirty player, but he tries to like lay the wood every time he makes a tackle. The hit was not a good hit, but I don't know if it was intended to be dirty.
You know, I honestly couldn't tell you either way. It definitely did not look like a clean or good intentioned hit to me, but you know, I can't know what's in his heart. I can only know what happened, and it sucks that it happened. I just hope Juju's okay, and that's all I can really say on that.
Yeah. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence actually didn't have too bad of a game.
No.
He's playing all right during this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys ended up just still beating them by 10.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Definitely just shows like the level and talent difference in rosters between the Jaguars and Chiefs.
For sure, especially on the offensive side, because the Jags defense didn't play super bad. It's just Mahomes is just different, and the receiving core that we have is just deep.
Mahomes is just the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
We can just end it even there. Like, that's straight up what happened.
Yeah, real and true. Speaking of...
Someone titled the Juju hit video as Juju Smith-Schuster gets rocked. What the fuck?
I mean, that's honestly probably the best way to describe it. He really did. Just hate to see it in any capacity. Yeah, you just really hate to see it. But speaking of greatest quarterbacks, let's talk about the best matchup of the week. Texans versus Giants. Long neck Mills takes on Danny Dimes.
Yeah, and definitely has to make you wonder, like, what are the Houston Texans going to move away from Davis Mills at the end of this year?
It really depends on what their record's going to be. The one thing, the interesting thing that happened before this game is Brandon Cooks was announced as active, but they stripped his captain role from him. That was really interesting to see. And then Brandon Cooks actually did find the end zone in this game, but it was called back on a penalty, so I don't really know what they're going to do with him. They used him as a rusher at one point, but yeah, Dameon Pierce just couldn't really find as much value as he has been.
I mean, he still had 94 yards rushing.
Yeah, he definitely did, and he was averaging 5.5 yards per carry. But they just really, they're so used to leaning so heavily on him, and when he couldn't find the end zone, it was too difficult for them to score. Nico Collins has been getting some more production the past couple weeks, but it just hasn't been enough to amount to them winning.
We'll say Darius Slayton having that touchdown, that 54-yarder.
Yeah.
Big momentum swing.
Yes.
Also, I do like Darius Slayton a lot.
Same.
And he's the main reason that made that Kenny Golladay signing a couple years ago made 0 sense to me.
I agree. Yeah.
He has the same skill set as fucking Golladay, except he's younger and cheaper.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the Giants would think I'm the throwaway Cap Dallas.
Yeah. Really.
What do I?
One thing that was nice to see in this game, Saquon kind of got back to the rhythm, 152 yards and a touchdown. It's just always nice to see Saquon doing well. He only had 1 reception in this game, but he just played really well overall. There's a lot of like public narrative going on again this week about the Giants being the worst 7-2 team in NFL history. I don't know if I agree with that, but
I don't know. Maybe I could honestly see it.
I could see it too.
The Giants scream fraudulent still.
If you take away the quarterback, I don't know. I don't know about fraudulent.
There's still a shit receiving core.
It's not that bad.
It's shit.
It's not
I'll
that
call
bad.
it out. Pretty bad.
I don't know.
When you need Darius Slayton to be your wide receiver 1, and then you're hoping Richie James can be your wide receiver 2.
I was gonna say
Well,
Wandale, but all right.
okay. Like, but still, you're still relying on a rookie that hasn't made that big of an impact so far this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't like the rookies Odell Beckham Jr.
No, God no.
Because
No,
the-
they're definitely. And them getting rid of Tony was stupid. That I don't know. That was just we thefted them. I don't know.
Yeah, that seemed like a bad trade for them.
Yeah, it
But
definitely was.
let's
But
continue forward.
New York football smile.
New York football. Steelers Saints. Steelers ended up holding on 10 to 20 in this game.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett probably had his best game as a pro.
Yeah, the Saints got shut out in the second half. Kenny Pickett,
Wow,
199 yards and a rushing touchdown. Yeah, they also the funny thing was on the 1 yard line they used George Pickens to run in the touchdown instead of Najee Harris. I was like, what the hell? What is Pittsburgh doing? Najee
Maybe one of
avoided
them can break the tackle and the other one can't.
he avoided another injury. They took him out and tested him for a concussion. Yeah, you're right about that. Absolutely. They really did a good job of spreading around the ball in this game. There's really not a wide receiver 1 in Pittsburgh. There's definitely Deontay sees the most targets, but yeah, it's pretty well spread around. The Saints, man, Andy Dalton just
Year.
2
We're gonna take
interceptions.
Andy Dalton too.
Yeah.
Which
You
also
know,
just makes me wonder how bad is Jameis in practice?
that
has to
or injured because
Head.
I don't know. I really, honestly, 100% cannot answer you. Jawan Johnson found the end zone, their only touchdown of the game, 5 receptions, 44 yards. Other than that, Chris Olave's just been getting hit, dude. He's just been getting beaten up. Kamara hasn't been finding very much value lately. This offense is just a
Landry
mess.
was a bad signing.
Yeah.
I'm the call. Jarvis Landry was a waste of cap dollars.
I really thought that this wide receiver trio
Trio.
of Juice, Mike, and Olave would be really good, but man,
As soon as Michael Thomas went down, it was fucked.
yeah, for real. They just have no production here. It's the Saints are a team that can beat up on bad teams because they still have some good defensive pieces, and their defense can still be relatively functional. But
Yeah, they can also get beaten up by bad teams
Yeah.
too. That's the problem.
yeah,
They're only competing with the bad teams.
they really, really are, and they don't have a first-round pick next year, so
Nope.
whatever they
Philly
do
fleece.
goes to the Eagles. Yeah, Philly fleece. Yeah, for real.
Speaking of bad teams beating up on bad teams, Colts Raiders, man,
Yeah, this is our bad game of the week.
the Raiders, McDaniels, what a shit start to his first year in Las Vegas.
Jonathan Taylor returns healthy, 147 yards and a touchdown rushing. I don't think they used. They used him a little bit in the passing game. 2 receptions for 16 yards. Yeah, Matt Ryan coming back, having probably his best game of the year. 222 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 21 to 28.
And he had a long ass rush.
Oh yeah,
That game. He had a fucking 39-yard rush at one point. He finished with less rushing yards than his longest rush of the game, by the way.
yeah, 38 yards total because the
Got
negative
wheeled.
gains. Yeah.
Also, that also shows a pattern we've seen with Vegas. They're so bad when the quarterback scrambles. It's honestly kind of funny that Matt Ryan was able to take off for almost 40 yards.
Yeah. Vegas
Imagine what
is just bad.
Imagine what they would have to do if they had to play against like Lamar or Justin Fields.
Oh my God,
Justin
die.
Fields just put up 300 yards of rushing or
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah, especially with them not having any running backs at this point, it would be bad. Devontae Adams continues to be, you know,
And wide receiver just sucks that he's on the Raiders.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs still putting up some numbers. Just again, sucks that both of them are on the Raiders. The Raiders are just disappointing. There are very, very few bright spots on this team.
If I'm not mistaken, I think like Josh Jacobs is having like a stupid good year.
Yeah,
From like an analytics perspective. Yeah, he's right now.
he was on pace for over 2,000 yards, but now I think it's closer to like 1,800.
Yeah, but if any of you invest anything in PFF grades, he currently has the best PFF offensive grade and rushing grade for running backs.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, which is really cool to see, especially since he's not even 25 years old yet.
Yeah, that's gonna drive up his price for real.
Uh, When he wants to try to re-sign.
Yeah.
Or if I'm him, I'm just leaving.
Oh
What if-
yeah, absolutely.
Josh Jacobs ended up on the Chiefs. That would be dope. That would be a dope.
it
combo,
would
'cause he
be,
can catch
but-
the ball.
uh,
He can
I
catch
don't
the
know.
ball. You can line him up out in the slot.
completely agree with that, but I don't know if we're gonna want to pay a running back.
I mean, I agree. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not a good idea. I mean, you
No.
guys would be better suited drafting one.
Yes. Especially
so-
in this draft. Yes.
Especially in this class. Get the kid from UCLA.
Please give us Bijan. I just want Bijan.
Not gonna fall that far.
No, trade up. Fuck it. I don't care.
Straight up, okay, sir.
No. I was kidding. I'm
You
kidding.
don't want to pay for a running back,
I'm
but
kidding. I'm
in
kidding.
draft
I'm kidding.
capital-
I'm kidding. I know.
I know.
I know. It would just be nice to see Bijan in our offense, but I know it's not gonna happen.
It would be. I completely agree. It would be fun. And watch the Cardinals fucking draft him or something.
Oh God. Speaking of
So bad at drafting. Yeah.
battle of
So-
the backups.
All the backups, and of course the Cardinals have the better backup with Colt McCoy.
Well, you know what?
One.
Yeah, I mean that's true and that's
Horn.
fair, but the Rams losing Cooper Kupp.
Matt, he's done for the year. I don't care if he's ready to play before the end
No,
of the season.
he definitely is. Absolutely. Cooper Kupp, high ankle sprain, now on injury reserve. Definitely done for the year.
He's shutting down Jalen Ramsey too. Like maybe it's me being too doom and gloom here. They're only 9 games in, but they're not gonna fucking win this division.
They're not going to get a wild card slot now.
They're not gonna get a wild card slot either. The
Yeah.
Cardinals also are not gonna win this division or get a wild card slot. These teams were just playing just to play.
Yep. The only things that I think are worth talking about in this game, DeAndre Hopkins had a good game, 10 receptions, 98 yards. AJ Green, washed as he is, found the end zone in this game. James Conner had 2 touchdowns. Darrell Henderson found the end zone. Kyron Williams got a little bit of involvement. Allen Robinson, honestly, could end up being a league winner for fantasy.
Rondale Moore, ever since he came back from injury, has been very good for the Cardinals as well.
Yes, for sure.
94 yards in this game.
Yeah.
And also, Hollywood Brown should be coming back soon as well.
Should be,
So-
but the Cardinals aren't going anywhere either.
But at least it'll make it more entertaining.
Yeah, that's fair.
They also lost Zach Ertz for the year.
Yeah,
That's
that really sucks. There are 2 tight end injuries this week. Yeah. 2. I'm sure there were more that I just didn't see, and I apologize. But 2 of the big names, 2 of the top 5 number tight ends got injured this week. But before that, we definitely have to talk about our good game of the week, which is the Green Bay Packers against the Dallas Cowboys.
Christian Watson had his coming out party in this game. Had a
Definitely.
triple crown, had a hat trick, if you will. 3 touchdowns in this game. Aaron Rodgers was looking for him on big time downs, on 3rd down and 4th down.
Yeah.
I think he's earned Aaron Rodgers' trust.
Yeah, 4
Just-
receptions for 107 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's an A.J. Brown stat line if I've seen one.
He was targeted 8 times.
Yeah. That's,
Legit. Like, the next closest guy in targets is Allen Lazard before.
yeah.
So it makes me happy to see Christian Watson healthy, because man, he's explosive.
Yeah, he definitely, he really reminds me, I don't think he's going to be as good or productive as Mike Evans, but he's like Mike Evans light.
I see it from a size comp and both of them being good down the field.
Yeah.
I think he moves a little bit more fluid than Mike Evans does.
Yeah, he's not going to be as much of a possession guy. He's not going to be as much of like
No.
a jump ball type. He's
But I think
definitely
he
gets down the
has
field.
more yak to his game than Mike Evans.
Probably. I could definitely see that.
Yards. Where was his yards after the cut? It doesn't even matter. I am just very excited by how our offense played, that we were
Yeah.
able to put as many points as we were.
Yeah.
And our defense didn't give up in that game.
No.
We caused turnovers when we needed it, and it was a fun game to watch as a Packers fan.
Yeah.
We come out in prime time, not in prime time, but in like late afternoon games is when we decided to play.
So Dak had those really costly 2 interceptions, but I will say definitely had a solid connection with CD here. 11 receptions for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
CD had a great game in this one.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons didn't have a sack in this game.
No, D-Law did, but not Parsons.
D-Law did. Micah Parsons didn't. So that made me happy seeing that didn't happen.
Yeah, this kind of like begs the questions. I saw the last time the Packers were 4-6, they went on to play in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
like rattled off like 6 or 7 wins in a row.
Schedule is definitely difficult this year, but I mean, if Rodgers trusts Watson and he can stay healthy, anything's possible with this team.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm right there with you. 49ers Chargers primetime game. Justin Herbert is an elite quarterback because he can go up against elite defense with a depleted roster
Yeah.
and still have a good game. Not good game from a stat point,
No.
like a stat sheet standpoint, but if you're watching the game, you can see he's playing well.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing with the Niners is they are being held back by their quarterback, but because of how talented this roster is, it's not enough to hold them back. There's a pretty decent spread around. Debo was held pretty quiet tonight, or not tonight, but in that game. 2 receptions for 24 yards. C-Mac saw the snap share with Elijah Mitchell, and both of them were productive. Elijah Mitchell was much more productive in the rushing game. C-Mac saw 4 receptions for 39 yards. So, I mean, it's nice to see a balanced offense that they have. Elijah Mitchell, I feel like, is definitely going to be taking a large portion of the rushing game away from C-Mac, and they're going to use him much more for options. But the Chargers are definitely going to be dangerous when they get healthy. They're just not healthy.
And not healthy, and I just also want to see Justin Herbert get a reliable deep threat. I think Josh Palmer is going to be a nice receiver going forward for them. I think this offseason is the time to cut bait with Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen with him. He's still... Didn't put him on IR because he doesn't need it. He'll be back soon. Yeah, I've been hearing that for 5 weeks.
Yeah, and
he played one game and was incredibly mid.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the injuries he's taken over his career and his age are starting to catch up with him. He's never... I don't think he's going to be terrible if he goes to another team. He's purely a possession, route-running receiver.
He is not a wide receiver 1 anymore. No question in my mind. If you have him as a 3, great. If you have him as a 2, definitely okay. If you are counting on him as a wide receiver 1, no.
And as a 2, I don't know at this point.
I think he'd be a solid 2.
You still, being the number 2 in your passing game, you still need to be relied on, especially in third down situations.
Yeah.
And just don't think he's going to be available.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang my hat on that guy being the second guy in my passing game.
That's fair. That's completely valid.
I hope the best for Keenan Allen. I love watching guys that are technicians, and that is 100% what Keenan Allen is. But I think it's time for the Chargers to cut bait in that regard. And maybe go draft a wide receiver this year, maybe. Or maybe even try to pull off a trade for one.
Yeah.
Don't know. But I just know I really want to see Justin Jefferson get a wide receiver that can stretch the field, and that's
Herbert.
Justin Herbert. I probably said Fields.
No, you said Jefferson, actually.
Yeah, Jefferson. Hey, pull off a trade for that. I would love Justin Jefferson and Justin Herbert being the same offense.
Yeah, I bet you would. That would
Maybe
be
that's a Freudian flip. It would be great to see.
240 yards a game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, that would have been terrifying.
Our biggest upset of the week: the Commanders, 32-21 against the Eagles. The Eagles just gave up too many times when they had a chance to win this game.
Yeah.
They couldn't capitalize. There was some bad calls in this game, but the Eagles just didn't execute.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
There are a few. Well,
Bad.
I'm gonna start because I am Terry McLaurin's #1 fan. I'm gonna start by saying he had a fantastic game, especially against the secondary. Shredded. 8 receptions for 128 yards. Love Terry. Taylor Heineke played pretty well considering he's a backup. 17-29 for 211, 1 interception. But he didn't really need to do that much because this game was closer than it looked. The Commanders ended up getting that fumble recovery touchdown at the very, very end of the game. It wasn't a fumble. It was a botched lateral pass that ended up getting recovered for a touchdown. So, I mean, it wasn't a double-digit loss if you don't include that, but they were just very persistent with the run. And when the run wasn't working, they found guys over the top. The Eagles really, really miss Jordan Davis. They don't have anyone else that's really stopping the run. The Eagles weren't running the ball very well or very much.
A.J. Brown got hurt.
Yeah, A.J. Brown getting injured on the first series, I even think it was pretty bad.
In the first quarter. It was very early.
Yeah, the Eagles just didn't do a good enough job to win this game. It's really what it boils down to. Jalen Hurts, only 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But yeah, they didn't have the run game.
And they couldn't stop the run. Time of possession just ended up killing them.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
And the Eagles are just counting the days until Jordan Davis can come back. Because to make that defense work, they need a good nose tackle.
Yes, they absolutely do.
They want to play those lighter boxes and let those 2 linebackers run around and still get the pass rush and still play coverage the way they want to.
Mm-hmm.
They need a top-end nose.
Agreed.
I get it. They signed Linval Joseph today. I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think he has the knees or the legs left to be a high-end nose tackle.
I agree with that assessment. That's very fair. Also, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, another interception in this game. That's another thing to mention.
Eating picks.
Yeah, but that was week 10. The Commanders-Eagles was really the big upset. And I said they could lose any one of these games. The Commanders just ran all over them.
And the Commanders' defense, especially their defensive interior, showed up.
Yes.
Both their D tackles, Jonathan and Deron Payne, fantastic.
Yes, definitely.
So both went to where? University of Alabama. So interesting.
Bama's putting out some talented players.
Yeah, that is an understatement almost, my friend. It's crazy when you look back since Nick Saban has taken over at Alabama, how many first round picks they put in the NFL.
Yeah.
Insane the amount of talent that Alabama has in the league right now.
Absolutely.
Nick Saban literally has someone on his staff that keeps track of how all the Alabama players are doing. Since he has to work on Sunday and can't really watch the games.
Oh, that's crazy, actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she'll actually run down how everyone did for him.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
It's a really cool thing. It's a really cool thing he does. Let's start our preview for Week 11. It starts off with my team in the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Packers, Titans. Who you got?
I think this is going to be another interesting matchup. The Titans are... I don't count on Derrick Henry having another quiet game, but now that Aaron Rodgers has found a target that... is Romeo Doubs on IR, or was he just out last week? That's the real question.
He's going to probably be out this week, too, but not on IR.
I don't know how much of a
Well,
difference
Randall
that would really
Cobb,
make.
Randall Cobb was designated to return this week.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's another target that Rodgers can count on and believes in. Give me the Packers in this game.
I'm taking the Packers too. The only thing that really makes me nervous is Devondre Campbell being out.
Yeah, definitely.
So the Packers are relying on Quay Walker to step up, especially in this run game,
Yeah.
figuring out where he needs to be.
If you can shut down the Titans' run game, though, I mean, really, how often especially with your secondary, how often are you going to get beaten exclusively passing? Probably not very often, and definitely not by Ryan Tannehill. So
Yeah, not by this receiving core. I'm interested to see how we play offensively. If we can put up 21 points, I don't think we lose this game.
I completely agree. Yeah, I would say even 20. You just get 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, you're solid.
Yeah, there you go. See, Chicago, Atlanta.
Give me the Bears.
Georgia. Is Chicago? I think I'm gonna agree with you. Give me Chicago.
Yeah.
Justin Fields goes back to Georgia and is gonna light it up.
Yes.
Justin Fields is from Georgia, by the way, if anyone was wondering.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, him and Trevor Lawrence, I believe, are both from Georgia.
I think we're going to see the Bears receivers get a little bit more involved here, just because the Falcons secondary is, not great right now. Yeah. I think this will be kind of the game that everybody's waiting to gauge Justin Fields and see if he's more than just a scrambling quarterback, which he definitely is. But
for Atlanta, they're without their top 2 corners for this game.
AJ Terrell
and AJ Terrell's done.
I cry every time because I love him. I don't think this game should be relatively close. I'll be very interested to see if the Falcons can integrate a little bit more passing into their thing, but when you have a quarterback that doesn't make accurate passes, I don't think it matters. But get Kyle Pitts more involved. Jesus.
Yeah. They try. They give him targets. He gets open.
Yeah.
There's not too much I can say about that. Ravens, Panthers. I'm taking the Ravens here. I don't think it's particularly close for me.
Not remotely close, no. I agree.
I think this... I'm really wondering...
Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback for this game because P.J. Walker is high ankle sprain out.
Yeah. Give me the Ravens. I don't see...
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I agree. Baker does seem to have one game a year where he just goes ballistic and throws for a bunch of yards, but I really
think he already did that week 1 against Cleveland.
Yeah.
And lost still.
I don't think it really matters who you'd have in as quarterback here. The Panthers aren't going to be able to beat the Ravens. Yeah. It's fine.
It's fine. They suck. It's fine. Let's keep it with that division. AFC North, Browns, Bills. In Buffalo, there may be
6 feet of snow.
There might be an insane amount of snow. The wind's going to be going. Who are you taking, Brett?
I think this game is going to be a little bit closer than people think. But give me the Bills. If you ask me which team I trust to exclusively run the ball, Browns for sure. But
Cleveland. Give me Cleveland for that reason that you just said. I think Cleveland's going to play really well running the ball, and I think that Nick Chubb is going to have one heck of a game. I don't think the Bills are going to be able to do much with the weather the way it is, and it just being Josh Allen being able to run the ball. I don't think Singletary's honestly that good, and I don't really think their offensive line's that good at run blocking either.
That's probably true. I expect to see a little bit more of Singletary and Cook. I'm not betting on this game. I'm not getting any relative.
I'm betting Cleveland money line. All the degenerates, come with me. At Cleveland money line for this.
Yeah, something about this game just.
Screams.
I don't want to say it to put it out into the universe, but something about this game just screams Nick Chubb injury or inefficiency to me, and I'm going with my gut on this one. I can't back it up with
disagree
logic.
of the week. First disagree of the week.
Yeah, might be our only one, to be honest with you, because I feel like a lot of these are
pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, yeah.
Commanders, Texans.
Um,
It's at Houston.
Man,
The Commanders, just because we talked about earlier, the strength of this Texans team offensively is Dameon Pierce.
yeah,
And the strength of the Commanders is their defensive tackle.
yeah, absolutely.
Even be more specific in their defense line. The DTs are what really keeps it going. I don't think the Texans are going to be able to score very much. I think the Commanders probably end up winning this 17-7 probably.
I agree with you. I think it's probably going to be closer to a 20-10 type game, just because the Commanders are able to spread that offense really, really well. They have the committee of backs that they can use.
No, and Taylor Heineke can just take a knee when a defensive end is about to hit him anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
For sure.
He'll get them yards.
I think in large part, I can't say it's going to be an incredibly productive game for any of their receivers. Curtis Samuel has been putting up some pretty good numbers for himself. I don't think Terry's going to have an amazing game. I don't know if he'll break 100 yards, but I think just the option of having those three guys out there, I think the Commanders are going to win. Yeah, I agree. 20-10 is my score.
All right. Eagles Colts in Indianapolis.
Yeah, you could tell me this game's anywhere in the world, and I'm taking the Eagles still. I know Jonathan Taylor has the potential to run all over this team, but
I think that's the only way the Colts win is if Jonathan Taylor and this offense can ball control and win that way.
Yes.
I think this Eagles team is too well coached. I think they're come out pissed off after that loss.
Yeah.
And I think they're seriously just massacre the Colts. I don't think defensively the Colts can stop them.
No, I agree. And I guess another part of it depends
Possession is the only way they can win.
if AJ Brown is healthy. That's the main thing, because Goddard is out too. Goddard got injured last week.
Yep. He's on the RR right now.
Yeah, he's going to miss at least a month. So again, I think the thing that really helps the Eagles is depth and coaching, and that's really
Which right now, you know who's not on the injury report?
Who?
I haven't seen AJ Brown on it.
Really.
I'm gonna look a little bit deeper, but I have not seen him on the injury report yet.
That's good. I love him too. I really hope he's not injured.
They were limited on Wednesday's practice, but him and Devontae Smith both practiced.
AJ Brown says he'll be fine for Week 11. Nice.
Yes. So it looks like AJ Brown will play against Colts secondary that's kind of lacking. And outside, okay, Stephon Gilmore is good, but outside of that,
Gilly Lock, yeah.
Gilly Lock.
But he's not the same as he used to be. He's still good, but he's not 2018, 2019? No.
Yeah, when he was putting on a show at the Pats.
Yeah.
We're both taking Philly in that matchup. I just said the Pats. Pats, Jets. Patriots, Jets in New England.
Yeah.
In Foxborough, Massachusetts.
This is another game that
definitely a step with make fights kind of game.
Optimistically, I believe the Jets can win, but I'm going to pick the Patriots here. Surprisingly enough, I'm picking the Patriots.
I'm also taking the Patriots just because I think what the Patriots do defensively rattles Zach Wilson to his core.
Yeah, I agree. Not having Brees also, I think in this offense, I think
no Elijah Vera Tucker either.
Yeah. That's I think Ramondre is going to have a pretty good game for the Pats. I don't think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. I think New England's supposed to get some snow too this week, if I'm not mistaken. But
probably if Buffalo's getting it, they're probably getting some snow too.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a closer game than last time because I don't think that Zach Wilson's going to make the same mistakes. I think the Jets are going to try to force throw the ball a little bit. What?
He's going to make mistakes, just new ones. And fun mistakes.
Yeah, but I don't think what did he have last time? 3 interceptions? I don't think that's going to happen. He's going to throw at least one, yes, but
I can see 3 turnovers. I can see 3 turnovers total.
I would say no more than 2, but for me to even pick against the Jets here, I already hate it. I hate it.
I know you do, especially since you're picking the Patriots too.
I know.
It's literally so tough for you because you hate the Pats.
I have to be honest.
Saints Rams.
Yeah, this one's like a double-edged sword for me.
Yeah. Saints. Give me the Saints. I think the
Yeah.
Rams. even if Stafford plays, which I don't think he will. I think the Saints at least have somewhat of a team left together to be able to win.
Yeah, the Rams not having Cooper Kupp makes me pick against them here. They do have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, yes, but despite the defense, whether or not they're performing or not, the offense has not all year. Give me the Saints.
There you go. Right. Let's go to our next matchup. Lions Giants in New York.
You know, I know Evan Neal's back this week. Give me the Giants in this game. I like what the Lions have done offensively, but I think the Giants are going to be smart and control time of possession. I don't really think the Lions can probably slow down, but I don't think they're going to stop Saquon. If it comes down to New York versus Detroit's running backs, give me Saquon every time.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning in the same direction you are. I think the Giants should win this game. Funny thing about the Giants and their record, I don't think they're that much better than Detroit.
I do, but only okay. I think Jared Goff is the better passer. Yeah, I agree. This is probably I have this game somewhere in the 5-6 point range.
Yeah, I think it's gonna end up being close,
like a 17-13 type.
Yeah, something along those lines. I will still take New York because I do think they're the better team at the moment.
Yeah, but not by a significant margin. Yeah,
and no.
Detroit has the better receivers, but like Saquon plus Daniel Jones' ability to run.
And the Giants' defense knows.
Yeah.
Like the Giants' defense knows when they need to actually pull their shit together.
Yeah.
When they're in the red zone, they're not bad. Raiders Broncos at Detroit. What a battle!
At Detroit. Wait, at Denver?
At Denver.
Okay. I was gonna take the Broncos in this one anyway. I mean, this is like the historical event, the Battle of Mid. That's what this is. This is just dog shit. It's like the only highlights in this game, and honestly, they could make it work. The Raiders really could make it work with Devontae and with Josh Jacobs, but I really don't know. Something just tells me to trust the Broncos defense. Even if their offense isn't great, just trust the Broncos defense over the Raiders at all.
That's what I'm saying too. I think the Broncos are still a better team. And the Raiders defense is just kind of non-existent.
Yeah, they have like 3 pieces and that's it. It's like
Chandler Jones, I still don't think has recorded a sack yet this season.
I don't think so.
That was kind of who they were hanging their hat on, being that pass rusher, the opposite of Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Also, the Raiders are just depleted.
Yeah. It's literally just
passing game.
Yeah.
It's Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs.
That's it. You can't even include Derek Carr.
I like their tight end. Their backup tight end.
Oh, Foster Moreau, yeah. I like Foster Moreau too.
A nice number 2 tight end, but not enough to beat this Denver team and to really scare their defense, because Patrick Surtain, him and Devontae Adams,
it's gonna be fun.
Watching the one-on-one matchups is probably gonna be more entertaining than watching the whole game.
Real. I completely agree.
Let's go to this matchup is fun and spicy. Dallas at Minnesota.
Yeah, I think this is kind of an interesting one for me. We talked about this last week when we were talking about how the Packers could beat the Cowboys.
Running the ball.
Yeah, exactly. In my opinion, I think this game is going to come down to whether or not Justin Jefferson is healthy for this week. I know he has an injured toe right now and is questionable to play. if you asked me today, if you had to ask me today, I would pick the Vikings for this game.
I'm leaning in the same direction.
And the reason is the Vikings have more depth in their passing game, right? But they also have Dalvin Cook, who can run typically very well, and they have Alexander Madison. Zeke, I still believe, can get you 4 yards per carry average, but Tony Pollard is just so much better. They just limit his snap count because they're paying Zeke.
Well, they also limited Tony Pollard's snap count in the game against Green Bay too. They were having
exactly
the guy they called up and take a bunch of snaps. He was playing well, but I think they really don't want I don't think they don't believe Tony Pollard can carry the load of taking 20 touches a game. I think he's gonna break.
Yeah.
About it. Like that's why we don't see Tony Pollard getting a bunch of carries. That's why we still see Ezekiel Elliott getting a bunch of playing time.
Yeah. I think this game really has the potential to go either way. And I think this one's going to be a little more medium high scoring. I think both of the teams are at least going to be in the 20s, but I could see the Vikings pulling this one out like 28-21 or like 28-20.
I right there with you. I think it's gonna be a close game. But I think the biggest difference maker is gonna be how Minnesota's defense matches up against Dallas's offense.
Also, Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Hot take, I agree with.
Yeah.
I also think that Kirk Cousins is playing better than Dak Prescott right now.
He's racked up a bunch of yards in garbage time over the several seasons, and people overrate him.
Yeah. And
which, don't take that as too harsh of a criticism, because
on a graphic, Dak Prescott is overrated garbage time quarterback.
Here's the deal. I like Dak. I liked Dak so much through his first 2 years that I bought a Dak jersey. I do not like the Cowboys in any capacity. If I have to pick a team in that division, I'm picking the Eagles every single day. But I don't know. I respected him as a person. I really liked what he did. But now it's just like, you are a garbage time yardage merchant. That's really, and that's where we're at.
Yeah. Bengals Steelers in Pittsburgh.
This one is surprisingly difficult for me. It shouldn't be.
Because week 1 went the way week 1 did.
No, it's not even that. It's because Jamar's still out and because Awuzie's out.
I'm still taking the Bengals. I think they can still put up enough points to beat the Steelers even without Jamar.
Yeah, I think the Bengals' defensive line is going to be good enough, and the Bengals' safeties are good enough to prevent those huge plays. I think Pickett's going to get pressured all game. I think Joe Burrow can manage. I think T. Higgins is going to have a nice week.
Yeah, him and Tyler Boyd should have a pretty decent week. Inca Fitzpatrick is still questionable for this game.
I think he'll play, though. I definitely think he will.
Jackson III is on IR right now. Witherspoon is questionable.
Yeah, the Steelers are pretty banged up.
I still think the Bengals are going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be particularly close, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The Steelers struggled to score 20 points on the Saints.
Yeah, I think unless the defense takes over and the defense scores points, offensively, I think the Bengals win by at least 10.
All right. Chargers, Chiefs. Rematch between both these teams. It really sucks for the Chargers that they are not healthy for this game.
Yeah.
If they were healthy, this game would be so much more fun to watch. I think the Chiefs are going to win this.
Yeah, no question.
I do think it'll be close because I don't think this Chargers team is bad, and I still think with the players they still have, they can match up pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Bosa's playing, right?
I don't think he's ready to play yet.
Okay. I mean, either way, it would just affect the line that I would take. But yeah, of course, I'm taking the Chiefs. Let me see. This is their first injury report. Keenan Allen is limited, but he is expected to play this week. He's expected to suit up. I know Khalil Mack's going to play. I know he was just on the don't participate. It's basically a veteran rest. I think the Chargers should be pretty healthy offensively, but yeah, they're just kind of banged up all around. Yeah, Juju's not playing this week. There's no chance Juju plays this week.
Early that Bosa's gonna play
Yeah.
is next week at the absolute earliest. I don't think he sees the field until December.
That sucks. That sucks a lot for them. Yeah, you never want to see anybody injured. You never want to see any unfortunate shit. And you always want to see teams playing really well against each other, because watching blowouts isn't... I mean, it's like fun at first, but it just gets kind of boring. I don't think we're going to blow them out by any means, but I think we win by a touchdown, not by a field goal. Butker missing so many extra points and a couple field goals is definitely concerning, but I still think that the difference between where we're at and where the Chargers are at is large
Pretty
enough. Yeah,
comparable.
large enough to
It's-
say we win this without me sweating.
If you guys lose, it's because Justin Herbert has a history of putting up big numbers against the Chiefs.
Definitely does, but they're still they're not.
You
Not a threat.
still need help. It's
Yeah.
still a team.
Yes, yeah,
But, my opinion, it's awesome to see a game where the two best quarterbacks in the NFL are playing against each other.
agreed. Well, I still think I like
That's
Lamar.
my opinion. That I'm going to share on the pod. Justin Herbert is the second best quarterback in the NFL.
It's Lamar for me.
Understandable. I'm okay with Lamar being it. Lamar's 30 for me. Josh Allen's 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I like Herbert better than Allen too. Yeah, we talked about this, but that's fine. That's fine by me.
Let's go to the final game. 49ers, Cardinals, Monday night.
Give me the Niners.
49ers, Cardinals. Did I not say 49ers?
No, you did.
49ers,
No,
Cardinals.
I was just saying I'm picking the Niners, definitely. That's not a question.
I am also going to take the 49ers.
Yeah, Kyler's expected to not play this week. He wants to try to, but
Is it worthwhile?
it's in Mexico City too. I don't know if that's a turf field or a grass field. I assume it's a grass field. I don't really know.
it's grass because they probably play soccer on the field that they're playing on.
That's a good
I'm
point.
assuming it's grass.
Oh,
But yeah, I just think the 49ers are in a good spot right now compared to the Cardinals that are a really banged up roster.
yeah.
We saw how efficient the 49ers offense could be on Sunday night.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
and with
they're-
the splitting carries in the backfield, knowing that you can't trust Jimmy G to win you a game. Yeah.
I will say I saw a lot of people and heard a lot of people bitching and complaining about Elijah Mitchell getting a bunch of carries compared to Christian McCaffrey. He ended up finishing with about the same amount of touches. And if you want to have Christian McCaffrey available for the playoffs, if you want Christian McCaffrey to play out the rest of his contract in San Francisco, you're going to fucking give Elijah Mitchell some carries.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm fine if you split them 50-50. I'm fine if you give Mitchell a little bit more and just keep McCaffrey involved in the
As
passing
more,
game.
more pass, yeah.
Exactly.
Because
he's averaging almost 10 yards of reception since he got there, if I'm not mistaken. Something ridiculous.
and Elijah Mitchell is averaging like 5 yards a carry on
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
It isn't like he's a bad running back. He's
And that's against a
arguably-
good defense. Yeah, agreed.
So I really just want people to understand, like, real life football and these real life ramifications are still different from fantasy.
Yeah.
It's fun for us as fans and analysts to play fantasy
Yeah.
football, try to like see how offensive players and us and people who like IDP, how much stats these guys are going to collect. For real life applications, this is the best idea the 49ers could be doing with McCaffrey and Mitchell.
Yes. Yeah. I couldn't have
I'm
said
going
it
to
better
play
myself.
more about that than I probably will about this game. I do think the Cardinals are going to lose this game. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. So I just don't think they're going to be able to score with Colt McCoy in the game.
No. I mean, I still think, like, I don't know. Honestly, I was going to say I still think there are a couple people who could have good games. Like, Hopkins could still have a decent game, but not that decent by his standard.
But we will see and see how many of these games we got right and wrong.
We only
Just-
disagreed on the one. I mean,
They only disagreed on one?
yeah, the Browns-Bills.
Yeah. Oh, son of a bitch.
And honestly, I would be more inclined to lean with you. This is just a 100% going with my gut. That's why I'm like, I'm not betting on this fucking game. What'd you say?
I said 100% a gut check.
Yeah, definitely is. But yeah, I think a lot of these games are clear cut. There's always some games that could be upsets. Like Devontae could just go fucking ballistic in the Raiders Broncos game, and that could send it.
And like pull them out.
Yeah, and in the Rams game, like the Saints could just completely fall. Like J-Ram could just have a day. Aaron Donald could have a day. Jets Patriots again. You never know. Like I think the Jets have more talented offensive pieces. You just never know some of these games. Jonathan Taylor could run wild on the Eagles again, but yeah, you never ever know. So
Exactly.
thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Thanks for listening to the show.
Give a like, subscribe, comment. You can find me on Twitter. I'm pretty much live there.
At PitchPassPod is our podcast Twitter, but yeah, our personal Twitters you will find very entangled.
And love all of you and have a great night.
Peace out, y'all. Stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy going into this winter mess that we have, and hopefully we will see you next week. Peace out.
Winter's the worst season.